I just finished watching the Summer Game Fest, and to be honest, it was incredibly boring. It was packed with free-to-play stuff, early access, TV trailers, mobile games, DoorDash deals, everything except amazing, crazy, big, mind-blowing experiences. Oh wait, I guess that's technically incorrect. There were a few good games. There was some stuff in there that was 10 out of 10 fantastic, but if we're actually discussing this as a showcase, how was Summer Game Fest to sit and watch? This was about 20 minutes of gold and a 2-hour showcase. So let's discuss. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, this was an interesting thing because at the very start, it really did begin strong. I'm sure some people in the comment section are immediately rushing down to tell me that I hate games and that blah, 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 blah. Look, we're going to talk about the good and the bad, but I think we can all admit this showcase started with a bang. I mean, obviously a very well-dressed Geoff Keighley introduced the fantasticness of Mortal Kombat 1. They actually sort of explained how this is a new timeline, how this new combo system is going to work. And I gotta say, everything from the visuals to the way the combos work to even the idea of resetting the Mortal Kombat timeline, this game looks truly top-notch. I'm a big fan of a lot of the stuff that NetherRealms does, this studio, but man, I am incredibly ready for whenever this comes out. That's coming out actually here in September. They said they're going to be doing multiple betas and multiple early access things where you can actually test it out. I'm going to play all of those. But pretty quickly after this, we start to notice something amiss. We're like, all right, so this character system, these cameos, these are good. All right, Path of Exile 2, that's a free-to-play game, but at least it's a good free-to-play game. Oh, what's coming up next? Street Fighter 6, Mechanized Ryu. What can this be? That's so interesting. Oh, wait, it's Exoprimal. They totally tricked you. For some reason, you can be a robotic Ryu or a robot Guile with a metal tattoo. Look, Guile's got like a cybernetic patch on, and for some reason they're doing a crossover with Exoprimal, which to me definitely signifies the fact that pre-orders are probably not as high for that dinosaur combat game that Capcom is working on as perhaps they may wish. But then my biggest gripe was that so much of this was just weird free-to-play mobile phone garbage. A lot of this stuff, I mean, straight up, when I see all these big, sloppy games, like, look at this. This is kind of all right looking, I guess, but so many of these Honkai Star Rail, yeah, that's great. Coming to PlayStation 5, that's nice. Okay, anime. Isn't this a gacha where you actually draw random characters as microtransactions, cards and stuff? Whoop-de-doo. Oh wait, here's Final Fantasy VII. Oh wait, it's Final Fantasy VII as a cell phone game. Now, we knew about the existence of Ever Crisis before this. Oh great, another early access game that looks incredibly generic. Whoop-de-doo. But Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is a classic retelling of the entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII. So you can see this is a clip here from, obviously, Crisis Core, and then we have extra bits from oh, there's the original Final Fantasy. But then it has these super HD cutscenes of characters like Sephiroth. What's very bizarre, though, about this trailer they showed off, though, is that there's some, weird, generic, custom character guy that's facing off against Sephiroth. We really don't understand what this is. They did open pre-orders for it, sign up for the closed beta. I mean, I did it because I'm a Final Fantasy simp, but this is a very strange project in general. But don't worry, you can experience fantastic Final Fantasy DoorDash. Yep, that's really what it is. Try a free burrito and have a chance to win Final Fantasy Collector's Edition. Yay, I sure do love my DoorDash coupon codes. You know, I know he's got to pay the bills, but man, this really drug down the entire press conference when it was just ad after ad after ad after ad, including, oh my God, this freaking guy screaming about Marvel Snap. This guy literally was on stage screaming about Marvel Snap. And let me tell you, I'm a guy that doesn't like cell phone games. I'm not really into the idea of playing stuff on my phone, but having a guy scream at me is not going to instantly convince me that, hey, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about Marvel Snap. Maybe I should try it because this coked out card dealer wants me to pay his microtransaction habit. Now, there was even some funky stuff like Fortnite getting another expansion. Great. And now Optimus Prime is in it, but Optimus Prime is tiny for some reason. Oh, wait. Here is probably what I hated the most. I love Twisted Metal. I grew up playing it like a bunch of people did. Obviously, it was that gritty, cool, hardcore game with card combat. So they're making a Twisted Metal TV show. For some reason, the entire trailer was just Anthony Mackie making jokes with Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth was making incredibly bad jokes. They sung a song together. Sweet Tooth is so goofy. He's not scary. They're having a separate voice actor from the person wearing the mask. I think this is a gentleman named Samoa Joe, who's like a big wrestler or something. I literally wanted to walk into the ocean. I saw this and I literally was like, maybe Twisted Metal is bad. Like, why is it that if people are taking a TV show, why couldn't you just film cars shooting at each other? Why can't you just CG some car combat in a car combat game? Why do we got to have characters making jokes and singing songs? They sing the thong song. When I'm thinking of Twisted Metal, personally, I'm not thinking about the thong song. Maybe I'm the weird one here, but, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, so what do we got up next? Oh, wait, the pinnacle of this presentation, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Huzzah! Something that was actually worth looking at. Most of this conference, in my opinion, literally a 2 out of 10 I'd probably give it. But there were these parts. Like, honestly, I really did enjoy Mortal Kombat 11. I'm glad they really did a gameplay deep dive. But this is definitely the craziest part. This is... Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is Remake Part 2, seems enormous. This game seems like it is going to be so big, so expansive, so crazy. I almost want to make a separate video. I'll make you guys a deal. If this video gets 6,000 likes, tomorrow I'm going to make a big deep dive into this trailer and just spot all the hundreds of Easter eggs, because as a Final Fantasy obsessed freakazoid, this is definitely filled with a lot of good news, but here is the part that people are discussing the most, is that it's showing a lot of stuff like Sephiroth. It sounds like Sephiroth is implying that he killed Tifa, so maybe we're really going to go deep into alternate timeline stuff. But they announced it's coming in early 2024. There was a leak this morning claiming that it's going to be out in January 2024, and it's coming on 2 discs. Now, people are so confused by this. Currently, the word 2 discs is actually trending on Twitter. People are literally that blown away, saying like, oh, wow. Like, the first game was 25 packed hours. Like, the first Final Fantasy VII Remake, Part 1, was already just jam-packed solid. Adventure, combat, boss fight, crazy music. And that was 25 hours on 1 disc. Is this going to be 50 hours? Is this going to be 60, 70 hours? Part 2 seems like it is going to be, just looking at the trailer, it already sounds like the conversation for Game of the Year in 2024 is going to be bonkers. I want this so freaking bad. But we'll talk about that more. If you guys like this video, I'll do a separate video discussing this trailer because, man, every single frame of it is a freaking painting. Now, next up, oh, God, I'm still just gawking over it. I actually put this on my slides twice because I loved it that much. Okay, next up. Now, the Yakuza series has changed its name, obviously, to Like a Dragon. Apparently, in Japan, Yakuza was always called Like a Dragon, and they finally wanted to call it Like a Dragon here in the West. So, this is theoretically the final game with Kiryu Kazuma. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the last major Yakuza game that involved him, he just gave up his name. He decided to be nobody. So we're getting what seems like the final game with Kiryu, and that's really interesting. The man who erased his name, coming in November. Wow. I'm extremely curious about that. I'm a big Yakuza fan in general, so, this seems like an absolutely fascinating project. And of course, it's Yakuza, so we know it's going to have a good gameplay, crazy combat, and a lot of mini games. Definitely worth the price. Next up, what's on the chart? Oh yeah, we finally got a release date for Spider-Man. Now, I'm happy about this and honestly kind of aggravated simultaneously. So they came out on stage and just announced the release date for Spider-Man 2. They didn't give us any real details. They didn't really, talk about the idea or show any new gameplay or anything like that. They just came out on stage and said, hey, guess what? Here's some art of Venom, which, honestly looks fantastic, but it is concept art, so we don't really get a chance to see what he looks like. And yeah, it's coming October 20th. Now, I'm a petty bitch, so I was kind of hoping that it would come out in September because I thought it would be funny if we had a head-to-head battle of Starfield versus Spider-Man. But you know what? I'm glad it's coming this year. They apparently said they're extremely confident, no delays. The game is apparently really crossing the finish line soon. I'm excited for that. I am a big webhead. I just saw Spider-Verse 2, and it was an absolute freaking masterpiece, one of the best movies of all time, yada yada. Man, I kind of hope we get more gameplay of it because we still only seen like 3 to 5 minutes of gameplay of Spider-Man 2. Show us the goods, Sony. I do not understand the secrecy of game companies. If you have a game and it's mostly done and you're ready to show it, just show it. Don't be a cock tease. Just the tip, baby. All right, what do we got up next? Next up, we have a bunch of stuff about Alan Wake 2. I am deeply invested in this. I think Alan Wake is one of the best horror games of all time, but I've also found it very weird that Remedy Games is calling this their first survival horror. They're saying the original game was more of a thriller. Now they're going for actual spookiness. They're going for dark shadows and crazy monsters popping out, and it seems fantastic. This is the new character. They said the game is going to be a 50-50 split between this new character named Saga and then the classic Alan Wake, where Alan Wake is still stuck in the darkness. And so she's trying to find him. He's trying to find a way out. And it seems like an interesting mix, a cool dynamic to have two characters in separate realities with a shared objective of kind of trying to defeat the darkness. I am very, very, very ready to play Alan Wake 2. We'll see how that actually turns out. I guess that's coming out October 17th. It really seems like the later half of the year is finally packing up with release dates because, man, trying to play these things back to back is going to be a very entertaining doozy. Times like this, I'm glad that video games are my job. That way I have a chance to beat all of these. Now, the final game we're talking about is definitely the one that I think personally surprised me the most, which is Sonic. It's a completely new game called Sonic Superstars that has all sorts of abilities and art. They've already leaked the price. It looks like it's going to be a $70 2D game. Maybe that's a price listing and it's $60, but it's crazy to see a completely new Sonic game that's 2D and amazing and awesome. I consider myself a bit of a Sonic fan. I definitely like a lot of Sonic stuff, but this seems glorious. This is actually a really nice, cool surprise. Overall, this is the weirdness of Summer Games Fest, is that it had these sparks of joy in a sea of bleak boredom. They showed so many free-to-play games. If you follow these accounts that tweet about news, there's a bunch of stuff that they just straight up didn't tweet out. From this showcase, there was literally 20 crappy mobile games that they just didn't even tweet out because they're so boring. There were so many cell phone games. There was so much random white noise. Where's CD Projekt Red and Phantom Liberty? Where's freaking the Persona 3 remake? Where's the good stuff? What is this? Okay, well, I guess they got Final Fantasy, so they'll take that W. What do you guys think? Are you excited for the future of video games? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And please, if you could, like this video and keep dreaming. Oh man, I'm sure the comment section is going to be very nice and wholesome. I'm going to call this video, I Hated Summer Games Fest, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.